What is going on, my friends? We are about to find out whether we broke our axle or our diff last time when we left the track after racing Cleetus. So we're going to get this thing up on the rack and figure out what exactly went wrong and what it's going to take to fix it. But before we do that, I wanted to talk with you guys about some of our merch, which you guys have been knocking it out. You guys are basically the axle and diff repair fund, so thank you so very much for that. We got a bunch of different new things out. We got these hats right here, which have the American flag underneath the bill, and we have our camo hat, which has camo underneath the bill as well. Also, we got our Adapt and Overcome shirt because it is such an awesome idea because it's not just automotive related. We definitely want to use that sentiment for just about anything and everything that we face. And also, Uncle Sam, the money shot right there for when we were doing our burnout contest. And we're doing 500 signed 20 by 30 posters, of which you guys can pre-order now. Those should ship out in roughly about 2 weeks. So check out the link in the description below under fasterpromstore.com. Thank you guys so very much for your support, and we definitely could not do all the dumb stuff we do without you guys. So you guys absolutely rock. Let's get on with the video. Hey, and remember, dog hair's on the house.
Hi guys, I am super stoked with the trailer that I got from Texas Pride. It was an adjustment though, I'll definitely admit. So I think about the third turn that I took, I went to the gas station, took it a little too hard, kind of crunched up my bumper a little bit, and I haven't really had my tailgate working. Some time ago you guys requested, hey, if you're gonna fix something like that, just do it like this. So hey, we're gonna give it a shot, kind of pull that guy out just a little bit. Things will be a-okay. What you say, Jordan? You done this before?
Yeah, I did it on the racetrack.
Oh, okay. So we got a pro.
Oh, I didn't say that. It did not work good on the racetrack.
Look at it over there.
As you can tell.
See, I was thinking more like the corner needs to kind of come that way.
It's got a gap on there now.
I walked away for 2 seconds.
That's all it takes me, every time.
For all the like the 1% ladies.
It's pretty much a race.
All right, so guys, this thing is beat up. I bought this truck with a whole bunch of dents, and I probably put a couple more in it. We just got one more nice one, really, just on the way back from Texas. I have no idea what I hit or how. I thought that was just on the interstate, like something kicked up and hit it. I have no idea. But we've tried to have some PDR guys come and, you know, do this, and everybody that's looked at it has been like, I don't really want to touch it. And I'm like, come on. So if you guys know any PDR guys in the Tampa Bay area, it needs some love.
There are a few new body panels.
Yeah, I like your strategy right there, yeah. Hammer on hammer.
I think it'll work.
So looking at this side, it's all right. Yeah, it looks like you got some space.
Getting that clearance on that.
Yeah. But
Not that bad. Not sure if you need a little fluff and buff and you'll be smooth sailing. Put it on Craigslist.
all right, good to go.
Only driven to church.
All right, fellas, we just got the Miata up on the rack. This is the morning after we went to the track and broke it. So yeah, we got something going on there as to why that would have had to kick out and kind of get distorted in the way that was. The best I could muster 60-foot wise was a 168. Now, it didn't unload or anything like that, but this is something that I've heard before. Now, I don't have a really good adjustable coilover or anything like that, but
yeah,
you had some words of wisdom for me here.
Being on coilovers that aren't really made to drag race, being stiff, it's going to try to bounce the tire. You still have your rear sway bar on here, so as your car goes to weight transfer, and it's, you know, no car transfers perfect. You know, they always kind of twist. Having that rear sway bar of the IRS, when it does that little twist thing, it loads the one side harder, makes the other side bounce. I've been 118 60 foot on my IRS setup. Back before, when I was making a bunch of power, NA, you know, 450 wheel, I'd go 140 flat, 138 on the foot brake. But it'd want to do that. It'd go to weight transfer and wheel hop one tire and either break the axle on the other side because it overloads it. Somebody told me, hey, ditch your rear sway bar, let them work independently. When I did that, stop breaking axles on the foot brake, go like 136, 60 foot every time.
Just breaking axles on the spray.
Yeah, and then when, you know, started doubling horsepower, started breaking axles all the time. But then, I mean, it was, you know, it was a head cam LS1 car, so it's about 450 wheel.
Yeah, so on my next drag setup, we'll probably,
Yeah,
we might try that here in a moment.
Try it. I mean, just take your end links off and just try it. Because what happens is when the car goes to weight transfer and one wheel gets upset, it starts to bounce, and then you got your sway bar and they're doing this, it just transfers it to the other side.
Yeah, which, I mean, it happened so fast last night. I mean, it was basically just, you know, the 60 foots were dropping and I was getting, you know, I was gaining RPM and I was trying to feed it more and more until it wouldn't take it, you know?
Oh yeah, that's drag racing on IRS. That's how that goes.
Yeah.
The last FL2K a year ago with my car, I made 6 passes and went through 5 axles
Oh my
before I was
God,
like,
dude.
okay, let me just reel it back, because I would be like, oh, that was too much, turn it down a little bit, and to go like 10 feet further, break an axle. so it's finally like, yeah, let me just take some more out of it.
All right.
Yeah, it's nature of the beast. Is that what happened to broken axle?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out right now. Now, another thing that we just found was this right here. Now, I banged that in as much as I could, but it tore up the tire.
I've seen the tire up over there.
Yeah, the first pass actually,
I wonder if when it's biting, it's trying to pull the tire in.
dude, it has to, because there was like a 2-finger gap in between there, and it's trying to, you know, move forward a lot.
That's another thing too. Kind of like you've messed with your G stuff. Good Gen Camaros, how they do that track bar on their IRS setup, and they tell you just extend it, push the wheel back as far as possible.
yeah.
That's why, because it wants to roll the tire forward. No, it's like that bar that pushes the lower controller in front to back.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
do an aftermarket one to eliminate the bushings, and you just push it, load it as far back as you can.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of
No. Unless there's eccentrics on that lower.
So we can spin the drive shaft, and it spins that side, not this side. You try and give it power, and it's like it's an open diff.
Yeah, I would have the same problem. Once you break one, you can't move. Yeah.
So we ain't got no splines.
Tough break.
Yeah. Da-dun.
That's gonna be hard to get out of there.
Think so?
Hope not, but
Yeah.
This side out and knock it through.
Yeah, all you do is take this side out and beat it through and extend.
All right, so there we have it right there, folks. She broke in there. Now, the race is to try and get one today, if that's at all possible. I talked to Shondell.
Are we racing tonight?
Not tonight, but I'm supposed to be going out of town, so. And racing it out of town, yes. That's why.
of course he is.
Of course. Yeah.
You got something else going on too. Your dry shaft's like fuel cell shield. It's not touching right now, but I think like when like you look here, like this.
I see that it has made contact at some point, yeah.
Yeah, this bolt looks bent. See, like it's loaded on the back side of the bushing and not the front. So I think it's moving up, and when it moves up, it looks like it's whacking. You know, a lot of these whacks are fresh. There's no dirt in them. Oh, these it could be the rims, you know.
Dude, on that side too? Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. That's honestly
What
crazy.
happens is it touches once and pulls it out.
Yeah.
These here wheels have 2 broken diffs and about 47 axles underneath their belt.
So you basically just transferred the curse to me.
Maybe it's the wheels. Like on the 240 geometry, it's got that track bar on the rear.
Yeah.
And when I aligned it, you know, I took all my, I actually gave a positive camber, so when it squats, it goes flat.
Yeah.
And then I took that bar, because same thing, when it goes to squat, it wants to roll the tire in.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually took that bar and loaded the tire to the rear of the wheel well. So this way when it did squat, it would go flat and center.
Geometry, what we have on Uncle Sam is a very different setup. And I mean,
Yeah, it is fairly different. You just have like an upper lower on the Miata.
yeah, it's that guy
But
right
this bar here,
there.
so like on the 5th gens, what they do is when they,
Which is like the same.
yeah,
it's the
when
same.
you buy this, they tell you just load it, and what it does is it pushes, it loads the wheel to the back of the wheel. It doesn't go into the body; it just
Yeah.
goes center.
Yeah.
Helps a lot.
Let's go.
This is a big tire under a big wheel. You can kind of see how it's back. You know,
Yeah.
like you see this gap here, how it gets tight back here.
Yeah. It was just surprising to see how much it moved. You know, and it's got to be moving like about an inch or so. So
I put a slow-mo camera, like a legit like pretending suspension.
Yeah.
On the ground one time, on on the 240. I put one on the quarter panel, watching the wheel, and I put one on the ground and made a pass. Worst mistake ever, because you see how much everything's moving.
Yeah.
You're like, oh god.
All right, so back when I bought these, I got these from V8 Roadsters here. These were the baddest ones that you could get. Now, apparently, they're rated for a little bit less power than what we're making on muscle. So he just told me, oh, hey, I think back in the day they were rated for like 500. He's like, the new ones are about 550. I'm like, well, that's a small difference gain there, but we need to do whatever we can to get the strongest ones. Now,
It's crazy it's breaking in the diff like that.
there's your problem.
You're missing the most important piece to this here shaft. Because on a 240 diff, this is all part of the flange, and then the diff bolts, and then you got that on the other side. I would clean snap the shaft.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That or break in the cup where the 3-ball collar goes. It break the gears that hold the balls and send the 3 balls clean out of the cup.
Yeah, we had different breakages on Uncle Sam, and finally we got something. Well, I haven't really, tried to drag it.
Put it on the drag wheel.
Yeah, so we'll have to do that, but there we go. So let's check that. That wasn't too bad though, honestly. You guys are fast. Look at this, we've only been going for 10 minutes.
Got the new axles?
Let's call Dependable and get him on the horn and see if we can find one, or Shondell and from V8
Worst
Roadsters.
case scenario, man. There's a welder here.
Oh boy. I don't think that's gonna get it, buddy.
Clean off.
Yeah, man.
Ain't got
You
no
can see-
legs.
See how it twisted before it snaps in the middle, the swirl, and then the break. And then you see how it's, so this is the craziest thing, like when they harden these parts to put together these performance things, you can never get the
All the way
hardening
through, yeah.
process all the way through, and you can see where it stops.
Yeah, it looks like it's about
Where the brake
1/8 inch,
changes.
quarter inch, yeah.
Yeah.
I see it. Well, we'll count them splines, make sure we get the right one, and
Got you another piece for your trophy case.
yeah, the ever-growing.
Put it on the mantle.
Well, we were supposed to be going out of town next couple days and had some stuff planned, and we're gonna try and see if we can make that happen, but this definitely changes plans a little bit, so we'll get back to you on that. We probably even need to grind down that bolt head.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it out for like a flathead style.
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna come in behind this and roll it back around now.
So guys, I wanted to take you across town here. There is a gentleman that I want you to meet, and this is the guy that I got my Miata from. This is kind of like the backup origin of the whole story, and it all started here at V8 Roadsters. So this is actually a swapped one right here. So this car actually has an LFX. That's a V6 out of the Camaro. And how much power do we make on that?
I think we were running 328 at the wheels.
Really nice.
On
And,
93.
and by the way, major kudos on that mullet. You didn't even groom it for me or anything, dude, but it is rocking. And that one right there, this carbon ceramic brakes, you got a really nice wheel and tire package on it. You're planning on doing a swap on this guy though, right?
Correct. We have a few different engines we're looking at implementing. We haven't decided which direction we're going yet, but we're playing with a few things, doing weights, balances, so on and so forth.
And this whole place has come a long way. Like I remember when your dad did a V8 swap on his S10 right here, and you had a Formula Ford sticking over there. And I was like, oh man, look at the tag over there. It's like, that's the tag you used to have on your dad's car. That's so sick.
Yeah, that's the old S10 tag, and here's the old 911 tag,
I never even saw the 911, honestly.
which is German and sweetheart. Sweetheart in German.
Schatz.
That's what it stands for.
Gotcha. Well, actually, we just took a little trip back there a moment ago, and you've grown this operation tremendously over the years. So basically, Shondell's Miata, became my Miata. You sold that to me and had all the stuff on it, and I even sold you back the engine when I was doing the LS swap, and dude, that was what, like 6 years ago?
6 or 7 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my original toy that we did all the suspension and brake development on, and then you took it from a stock platform, swapped it, and now it's the monster you have today.
Yeah, man. Well, so we're here looking for some parts that you might have, because I mean, you've evolved past the LS, and then now you're doing all sorts of different engines and stuff, kind of making this a little bit more economical in some ways. So you're doing, well, you're starting to do the turbo 4-cylinder. You're doing, and that's like the Ecotec GM is what you're planning on doing. But you've got the LFX, the LGX. and they make some sick power. In fact, actually, the one that we had on the channel a little while ago.
Bobby Cannavalis.
And
okay. Yesterday, they, or this past weekend, they won the SECA Time Trial Nationals in the unlimited class.
That's a big deal.
All out.
That's that crazy Aero one that we saw that made like, I think it made like 350 or something, like 347.
It was 350 wheel. The car's got a custom downforce package on it, full V8R suspension, brake system. It was a custom one-off LGX swap, and that was the first prototype car. It took down some pretty serious competition.
That's Porsche's, pretty much everything, right?
Correct.
Everything.
GT500s, 911 turbos, McLarens, Viper ACR, everything out there.
That's pretty intense for that little car. I really wish I could have ripped it, but yeah. Let's go check out this whole operation right here. It's kind of a, it's almost like a Miata graveyard in a way, but hopefully you can resurrect some of them. I did not expect to have all of this in here at all. So he's got a pretty serious thing going on. You make, hey, how many different parts do you guys make?
We now manufacture a little over 1,000 different components.
Are you serious, dude?
This would be like one of our breakouts here. This starts as a 9-pound billet. From there we do 2 operations in the lathe that takes it down to roughly 3 pounds. And a final operation in the mill, it takes it down right to 1 pound.
That is beautiful. So brake hat, and it's not just for a Miata. You said you make them for a bunch of different
Civics S2000s. We're kind of venturing into different markets now, but our bread and butter is the Miata.
So all of these get turned into that and then into the final over there. But yeah, got it. And it's just V8Roadsters.com?
Yep, V8Roadsters.com.
Very cool, man.
Very well.
Really, really, really impressive though, for sure.
From our Harbor Freight shop saw to this. It's
Took a minute, but yeah, man. Great looking place, dude, seriously. The Pops project car right here, huh?
Yeah, so this is what he started on earlier this year, before COVID happened. Kind of taking a pause as production and demand has gone up for other stuff. But this is the LGX, the same engine and transmission that was in the car that just won the Time Attack National Championships. But this is in a 3rd gen NC body platform.
So, and I mean, I have the NB, the NC I'm sure makes vast improvements, and then the ND now is what you had over there, right?
That's correct, yeah.
And I mean, obviously, just kind of like C5, C6, C7, they have progressions and obviously get better with time, I would think.
Yeah, everything with time gets a little bit better, traction gets better, larger wheel and tire package, larger brake package. The ND brought a huge reduction in weight, and that's kind of been nice for us, so now we're trying to keep that scale good and level. With the LGX swap and the ND, we should gain about 60 pounds total.
And what's your overall end curb weight for something like that?
With the ND, we'll be right around 2,450 pounds.
Oh, that's lighter than my car.
Yeah.
The LGX actually, the other, well actually, no, wait a minute. I'm thinking the NC. When we had done the NC over at Daryl's old shop before I had my dyno, that thing, you know, when I drove that, I was like, dude, that thing is a Porsche killer. I was like, super bang for the buck. It rips. I mean, we made like 300 horse way back then, and it's gotten a lot better since then. But I mean, incredible balance. We took that one sweeping turn over there, like 90 miles an hour, and that thing just glued to the ground. It had so much power that you could use it, but it had just enough lack of torque that you could flat foot it through the turns. It was awesome. Yeah, really, really impressive car.
Very well balanced platform. They fit together really well.
And it's actually, so this is a little cheaper though than doing the LS, right?
Yeah, I mean, your donor cost will be the same, but the power plant and all of your drivetrain stuff is much cheaper. So this entire assembly engine and transmission is about 1,800 bucks.
Nice. Gotcha. Well, I mean, it's a great alternative, and it really, really works well for a track car.
Absolutely.
Overall drag car, you probably want to go with the LS and then put some nitrous on top of it, but for this as a road car, as a Porsche alternative, really good. So this is what we got from Showdown right here. This is the grid brakes for us. Should stop pretty well, but mainly we're going to have a tremendous drop in rotating mass. Should be a nice upgrade there. This is the hub side. So unfortunately we didn't have the axles of what we really needed over at Shondel's at V8 Roadsters, but this is a nice unit. As you can see, the logo right there. Nice touch, Shondell. This will be for our next set of axles. So right now, in order to get the axles that we really need, the 31 splines, they're about 4 to 6 weeks out. But we're definitely trying to get those coming. So right now we need something just to get rolling. Wait on the upgrades a little bit later.
All right, guys, that was super cool to check out Shondell's shop. I haven't been over that way in probably about 6 or so years since I really bought the car. He's come a long way, and they have a really awesome operation. Now, in regards to trying to get that axle upgraded, it is something that we definitely want to do. However, I talked with a couple different really nice high horsepower manufacturers, and they are 4 to 8 weeks out, so we're definitely going to try and get something that's going to be a short-term solution as well as a long-term solution. So we did just find an axle locally equivalent to what we have, basically something out of an 89 to 97 Thunderbird, and that is the 28 spline axle there. We're going to go to the 31, but we need a beefy 31, so that's going to be a little bit in order to get all that stuff going. However, I wanted to ask you guys an opinion. Please put this in a comment right there. Stemming back from our shenanigans video, we had done something where you guys had seen me getting pulled over. Well, I had been pulled over somewhere in the neighborhood of about 35 times, and I had a pretty good record. I had only gotten actual tickets for somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2 or 3 times. Now, there are some little secrets that I could share with you guys. I decided I thought it would be a pretty good idea to make a video, short little video, probably end up being something like 7 minutes long, but it's how to get out of a speeding ticket. I talked to about 5 different officers, and they weighed in and gave me some fantastic information. Some stuff I already knew, but some stuff that definitely was a learning experience for me, and hopefully I can pass that on to you guys. Let me know what you think. We'll try and put that video out here very shortly. I hope it may help you one day get out of a speeding ticket. A nice little wise thought that I wanted to leave with you guys, perhaps a little proverb. If you borrow something from somebody, it's always nice to get it back better than what you received it. In other words, being a good steward of what you're given. It's hard to do that sometimes, and I definitely have had my share of messing stuff up and then giving it back to Cleetus, and likewise. And the song I'd like to leave you with is The Island by Pendulum, and I'm a really big Pendulum fan. Definitely one of my favorite bands, definitely something that really amps you up. Check it out. God bless you guys. We'll see you next episode.
Run, run, run. Go.